Hello everyone, this I was playing a game called Paper Lily. You may have recognized it if you watched one of my earlier streams. I just can't be bothered to play it myself again because it's a bit of a painful experience. It's a good game, but kind of painful to do something.
Эй, друзья, всем море приветов, Нептун, это я. Добро пожаловать на мой игровой канал. Наконец-то мы дождались выхода первой главы игрушки Paper Lily, да, бумажная лилия. На самом деле она вышла довольно давно, я об этом узнал, я даже тестировал.
Hell, thank you all of you, I assume that means. Спасибо вам всем. Спасибо вам всем. Yep, thank you all. Поддержка на boosting. Support me on boosting. I assume that's like a Russian version of Ko-Fi or Patreon or whatever. So you're getting it, or I really just know.
Я пытался.
Just out of curiosity, what is boosting? Huh. Guess it's not Russian, it's just thing. I just got this extension and it's kind of weird, I don't know what it does.
Ее снять, но там не было перевода. И вот совсем недавно перевод все-таки вышел и официально был добавлен в игру разработчика. Так что огромный респект тем ребятам, кто занимался переводом. Если вы помните, я в прошлом проходил пролог этой игрушки под названием Project Cat, и в нем мы играли за девушку Кэт. Помните, она там пыталась какой-то ритуал совершить?
Помните? That sound like you'll be understand. Oh wait, no, remember, that's right. Keep messing up понимать and помнить. About cats,
то ли вызова духов, то ли что-то такое. Причем делала она это в школе, и там было целых 8 концовок. Почти все они были плохие, но некоторые концовки были и хорошие.
Okay. Почти. It sounds like something that would happen or be said a lot. Almost. Okay. Почти. Almost everything was horrible. I assume that's what that says.
Кому интересно, вот наверху подсказочка. Мне выходило 3 серии, можете посмотреть. Пока что совершенно не...
Okay, so I assume that is a Project Cat, yeah.
Не знаю, что из того пролога будет отражено вот здесь, в первой главе, полноценной, видимо, огромного приключения. И, судя по всему...
Видимо, something like that would be like the paranormal. Oh. Огромного. That sounds like it means game. Oh, huge. Okay, I was wondering why that sounds like I didn't think it was on. Okay, so... Oh yeah, that's right.
Всему здесь будет совершенно новая героиня. Встретим ли мы здесь Кэт, но девушку из пролога, об этом история пока что умалчивает. Поживем, увидим. Очень многие хвалят данную игру, у нее очень крайне положительные отзывы в Steam, поэтому давайте поглотим эту историю.
Новая игра means new game, I assume.
Когда
у тебя есть
список дел, которые нужно сделать, тяжелее всего именно на Steam, поэтому давайте
поглотим
эту историю. Когда у тебя есть список дел, которые нужно сделать, тяжелее всего именно начать.
He skips before he finishes reading it. I don't like that. Когда у тебя есть список дел, которые нужно сделать, тяжелее всего именно начать.
Именно начать. Нужно всего-то сделать что-то одно, а все остальное само пойдет. Нужно лишь начать. Вот почему многие начинают с самых простых дел.
Most, right? Yeah, most.
Тогда появляется больше шансов закончить начатое. Ну, логично. Все потому...
Все потому... Because of everything? All because.
Что привести что-то в движение трудно. Делать домашку — трудное решение. Убраться в комнате трудно.
В комнате means right? Yes. Убраться, кончить трудное решение. Встать, пройти трудное решение. Stand up.
Решение. Встать с кровати — трудное решение. Перемены всегда неуютны. Всегда проще оставить привычный порядок вещей, плыть по течению. Но рано или поздно достигается точка, когда от бездействия становится больше вреда, чем от любого действия.
Chill. That's still to score. Oh no, it's not a problem. How?
Когда это случается,
That is addicting right? Chill
чем
that. Okay. Instead of instrumental or store. Okay. I'd like to know perfective versus perfect. Okay, I think this would be very helpful as I don't really understand it. When would I use something like SDLL instead of DLL? Or SDLA instead of DLL? Something like that. Oh wow, Australian internet, how lovely. I keep pressing the wrong things. Anyway, why is this taking so long to load? Is it just that a video in particular, or is it YouTube? Seems to YouTube as a whole. Okay, so if I go to like, I don't know, let's just go to this dude's channel next to. Oh no, maybe not. If I go to a video, like, I don't know. Is it a Russia problem? What's happening?
перемена перестает быть выбором.
Why is it? I want to know what the difference between imperfective and perfective is. I don't want to read a massive article or a massive comment. I just want like a 20-minute video. I feel like that would be easy to understand.
This concept is for the next videos.
Thank you.
Aspects are related to the tenses. It is imperfective aspects of verbs in Russian. Because aspects are related to the tenses, it is important that we first cover the tenses. Russian has only 3 tenses of time: the past, present, and future, unlike English, which has continuous and perfect tenses. In Russian, aspects are used to indicate
So continuous is like I do, and perfect is I am doing, right? Okay, so present continuous would be like I am doing, and perfected would be I do, right? I have eaten. What? I will have eaten. Okay. Also, I barely understand it myself. I kind of just do it in English. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
If an action was completed successfully or is still ongoing.
Yes. So you have done it, meaning that you've successfully completed, and oh wait, no. Why am I
Can be
talking about
used
this?
in the past and future tenses. Speaking in the present tense, the aspects are not needed because it is not possible to speak about the completion of an action in the present moment. Basically, aspects in Russian indicate whether an action was or will be completed or is still ongoing. But tenses indicate when an action happened. So do
I just realized you can't really see the captions very well. I'm not sure if you need them or not, but I'll just do that for you. I don't know why that was so small.
not confuse them. Because aspects indicate if an action is fully completed or is still ongoing, it is very important that I first show this concept in English so that later it's simpler in Russian. Aspects
Okay.
have a lot more to them because they illustrate the difference between times, especially when you compare them to English. Still, their use is way more defined in Russian. To fully understand the two aspects, you first need to know the grammar of past and future verbs, because visually it would make much more sense. However, the grammar of past and future verbs in Russian is a bigger topic that needs more explanation for the next videos. But still, I'll present some examples in this video.
Yeah, conjugation in the past sense. Okay.
Just to give some sense of the aspects. Aspects of verbs can be used in the past and the future, and the aspects are the perfective and imperfective.
Now I think about it, I should probably learn how to conjugate more vowels, but what's this?
Perfective refers to actions that were or will be completed successfully, and there is a big emphasis on the word successfully. When an action was or will be completed successfully, it implies that the action cannot be undone and cannot change, therefore indicating simplicity.
Okay, so perfective is specifically successfully completed. Okay.
And the fact that the action was perfected without internal changes. For now, try to think of the perfective as the past or future simple as in English. The imperfective indicates an action that was or will be incomplete, ongoing, habitual, not finished, progressive, or continuous. And the last word is something to keep in mind because I'll use it a lot throughout the video.
Continuous.
The imperfective ultimately describes an action, but the outcomes of the action do not matter.
Imperfective indicates an action that was, or will be incomplete, ongoing, habitual, or finished, progressive, or continuous. Okay, so perfective means that it has been or will be successfully completed.
Now, before moving on, there's a quick explanation that I would like to redefine, which is something that I said in my first video about Russian, and is something very relevant for this video. Once, I did say that English has no equivalent to the imperfective, and that Russian doesn't have continuous or perfect tenses. While some of that is true...
What is a continuous? Oh, I already... That's not... Okay, so continuous is you are doing it, and perfect is you have done it.
It's not necessarily that English has no equivalent to the imperfective. Because this video focuses on the aspects of verbs, it would not be fair to not compare it to English. I did say that the perfective is equal to the past or future simple, but the imperfective can be equivalent to multiple aspects of the past or future in English. Russian has the aspects of the continuous or progressive, which is the equivalence of the
progressive. What the hell? This will be happening. I am eating lunch. Okay. So this is progressive. Perfect. What sense is I do? What sense is am? I do is I do. Is that okay, so it has no aspectual information. Okay, that's quite useful.
Perfective. However, Russian has no tense for it. When I said that Russian doesn't have continuous or perfect tenses, it means that the grammar, like ing and to have, to had in English, does not exist in Russian.
Okay, so ing, progressive ing,
Rather, it has aspects but not tenses.
not tenses? Huh? What? Oh, that was the bullshit and all things. Aren't those tenses? Or am I confused? Do I look like an idiot?
But past tenses, like the past progressive, past perfect, future perfect, and so on, but Russian only has aspects of the tenses, perfective and imperfective, in the past and future. I just wanted to quickly correct myself on that, because it will be relevant in the aspects. And here is what I mean. Suppose we have this verb, работать, meaning to work. We want
Работать.
to put it in the past tense.
Работать.
How many different variations of it are possible in Russian? Only
A
one
lot.
in the past. Я
Работал.
работал.
What
We're
about
using the pronoun
работал?
yeah, and I
Работал.
did say that the grammar of past and future verbs is for the next video, but using some grammar here will not hurt
I
anybody.
guess gender doesn't count as a form.
Я работал.
Я
Now,
работал.
how many continuous past variations of it are possible in English?
I worked.
I was working,
Oh.
I have worked, I had worked, I have been.
Okay, that is a lot. Okay. I was working. Я работал. I have worked. Я работал. I had worked. Я работал. I have been working. Я работал. I had been working. Я работал. Okay, so I have worked. I have
Working, and I had been working.
have been and had been. Okay. Have been. So that is kind of
In English, there are 4 to 5 ways to express a verb in the
that's a
continuous
bit
past.
much.
This is what I meant when I said that English has continuous, perfect, and progressive tenses. Russian doesn't.
Continue. Why am I even looking at this?
have any of that in the past tense, whereas English has many. But it doesn't mean that Russian cannot be compared to that. The continuous, perfect, and progressive tenses in English, common concept that can be linked with Russian. They're all ongoing actions. The imperfective
Yeah, all ongoing continuous. I was working? Really? Is I was working really ongoing or continuous? Oh, it doesn't really state a clear, specific. It doesn't state whether it was successfully completed or not, does it? I have worked. Okay, I'm
Russian
confused.
is also ongoing, expressing an action that is still happening in time. Therefore,
They do? They don't suggest that it's still ongoing, do it? But do they? If you say I was working, that suggests that you aren't still working.
it's safe to say that the imperfective aspect in Russian is equivalent to the ongoing tenses in English. Я работал doesn't mean I worked. It can mean any of these tenses, not because they simply happened, it's because they're still happening. That's the connection between tenses and aspects in English and Russian. And when comparing them, the closest tense to Russian is probably the past progressive. Я работал means I was working, as opposed to I worked. This is how the imperfective works in Russian, and how it also can be compared to English.
Well, let me ask my good old friend ChatGPT real quick. Okay, so yeah, this is fine. Я работал. Я работал. Mean that it is still happening. Я работал. That has finished. I'm gonna change this to Dylan. Dylan, because I actually know it is Dylan. It was in progress, repeated, or habitual. Deal aspect. Yeah, deal focuses on the process duration. The action is not complete or completion is not important. Yes, deal focuses on the result or completion and action is finished. Okay, so yeah, so perfective means that it definitely is finished. It is definitely finished and but yeah, Diallo means that it might not be finished. Okay.
Now, the perfective aspect in Russian indicates an action that was or will be fully completed, and the easiest way to form it is to put a prefix before the infinitive of the verb.
Okay. So was or will be fully completed.
Typically, it's po. To make
Okay, so if it's something like habit or something that's habitual, then it won't be fully completed because you'll just do it again. But
In fact, there are many ways to identify perfective verbs, and it's something I'll explain in a few minutes. Still, we can take работать, put po in the beginning, and we'll have pоработать. This verb still means to work, but it can only be used in the past and future.
Past and future. Okay. Yeah, so you said po. I want you to indefinite senses. Работать cannot be present tense. Okay. Okay, so you just conjugate like you would a regular imperfective vowel. I mean verb almost. Okay, yeah, it's conjugate the same. Oh, what's wrong there?
Because we're working in the past, we want to keep it in the past, and it will be я поработал.
Yeah, pоработал.
As I said,
yeah,
the perfective is
pоработал.
equal to the past or simple in English. And considering that I already showed the continuous variations of this verb in the past in English, it's safe to say that я поработал simply means I worked. It means I worked in the perfective, not because it's still happening, it's because it fully happened and it's fully completed.
I think I kind of get it. Okay, so like, these don't really don't imply an ending that they have that they just fully end. But this does. Kind of.
This is what I meant when I said that actions in the perfective cannot be undone without any internal changes, indicating simplicity. And the closest English concepts that connect to that are the past and future simples. That's the connection between tenses and aspects in English and Russian. And this is how the imperfective and perfective work in the past tense. Now, let's see what the verb работать will look like in the future. How many different variations of it are possible in Russian? Only one in the future. And it would be я буду работать.
Я буду
Now, how many
работать.
continuous future variations of it are possible in English? I'm going to work.
I'm going to work. I will be working, and I will have worked. I'm going to work means that you're currently about to work. No. You. Okay.
I will be working, and I will have worked. In English, there are three ways to express a verb in the future, and the following variations are all continuous and ongoing.
Continuous and ongoing. How's that work? How is я буду работать? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT again. I should just have this open now. Okay. How is я буду работать? And we'll continue. Я буду работать. Okay, depending on which is the imperfect. I will be in the process of. So I will do action in progress in the future. And I will finish working. No? I will work for some time, so there is an end. So you know for a fact that there's an end. Maybe, kind of. I will be working. Oh, then there's these things. I will be working. You don't know how long, but I will work for some amount of time. Удачи в обучении, товарищ. I have no idea what that means, but I'm going to try. The Gmax. Good. Good luck. Oh, I hate when this happens. Good luck with your studies, Conrad. Thank you. Спасибо. Aragon. Wrong video again. Okay. ChatGPT is more useful than Duolingo.
Imperfective in Russian is also continuous and ongoing. Therefore, я буду работать can mean any of these variations because they're still happening, and the closest tense to Russian is probably the future progressive.
I will be working. Okay.
Я буду работать means I will be working, as opposed to I will work. This is how the imperfective works in the future. Now, let's see the perfective. The perfective in the future will have the same prefix in infinitive as in the past, поработать, but the conjugation for the future will be different. Поработать still means to work, and in the future it will be
Я поработаю.
поработаю. The conjugation is basically the same as in the present, just with the prefix po. Considering that I already showed the continuous variations of this verb in the future in English, it's safe to say that я поработаю simply means I will work, because the action will fully be completed.
This is still confusing.
This is how the imperfective and perfective work in the future tense, and the same idea applies to any verb that there is in Russian. But to fully understand verbs, we need to cover the past and future grammar. This concept is for the next videos. Nonetheless, the simplest way to understand the perfective and imperfective in Russian is to remember that a verb with a prefix is perfective and is equal to the past or future simple in English. If a verb has no prefix, it's imperfective, which is equal to any continuous. The simplest way to understand the... Again, I will not go into the grammar of the past and future.
Okay, so pretty much every button I press will change one of these. I don't like that.
Some useful verbs to know. Работать, поработать. Звонить, позвонить.
If a verb has a prefix, a verb with a prefix is perfective. But how am I supposed to know if something has a prefix or not if I don't know the imperfective word? So if I see something like a dialect, I would probably think, yeah, if I saw something like sieste, or yeah, if I saw sieste, then I would definitely think that that is its own word. Does not seem like a prefix. Sieste. Работать, поработать, звонить, позвонить, готовить, поготовить. Смотреть, смотреть, посмотреть, любить, полюбить. Спать, поспать, читать, прочитать, учить, выучить, Why learn and teach the same word? That's weird. Beat, repeat, делать, сделать, есть, съесть, поесть. Okay, why is there a difference between съесть and поесть? Платить and заплатить. Okay.
Говорить, поговорить. Смотреть, посмотреть.
Did you say говорить? Because he clearly said, because this is готовить. Where's готовить? Готовить. Готовить means prepare, cook. Prepare, cook, train, make, do. Okay, prepare, ready, and cook are probably the most useful definitions.
Поговорить. Смотреть, посмотреть. Любить, полюбить. Спать, поспать. Читать, прочитать. This verb has the prefix pro. Учить,
I'm not sure if the mic can hear it more. I think pretty sure it's just an anglophone thing where you just pronounce S's a bit more loudly than other sounds. I'm just gonna pay attention to my audio input capture. If I say S, oh, that reads out very quickly. If I say like no, that's still in green. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I pronounce a lot more loudly than the other sounds, I guess.
выучить. This one has the prefix вы. Пить,
Вы,
выпить. Делать,
вы,
сделать. Есть, съесть. Поесть,
поесть.
платить,
What's the
заплатить.
difference between съесть and поесть? Oh. And поесть. Съесть and поесть are different. Okay, so съесть is to eat completely, so you've finished everything, but поесть means not necessarily finished. Okay.
Of course, many other verbs have other prefixes, so I will not cover all of them. Furthermore, there are more ways to tell the difference between perfective and imperfective verbs. One
Встречать, встретить, отвечать, ответить.
way is a letter change inside the verb, like встречать,
Читать, почитать, прочитать, зачитать, перечитать и... Yeah, I've heard that there's just an unreasonable number of them. Prefixes have specific meanings that give meaning to a word. And there's a lot of them. And I don't like how many there are.
and отвечать, ответить. Another way can be an infix that's added or omitted from a verb.
Oh. Спрашивать, спросить, показывать, показать, забывать, забыть, вставать, встать, давать, дать, понимать, понять, покупать, and купить. Купить is perfectly. Oh.
Спрашивать, спросить. Показывать, показать. Забывать, забыть. Вставать, встать. Давать, дать. Понимать, понять. Покупать, купить. The last way can be irregular exceptions, like брать, взять, and говорить, сказать.
Whoops. Didn't you do that? Okay, so. Брать, взять, говорить, сказать. Говорить, сказать. No, there's something I didn't. Yeah. Okay, so. Was it? Okay. Брать, взять. Is that actually just the difference between the variations? I did not know that. What does that? Okay, Skylight is perfective. Okay.
It's important to note that whenever you see the form of the perfective, whether it's a prefix, a letter change, an infix, or an exception, always remember that that verb can only be used in the past and future, not in the present. That's why it's better.
Yeah, so I just want to check what is say. Say сказать. Speak is говорить, which is also speak. And so, okay.
To learn both perfective and imperfective aspects of verbs. Often, you will not see that many perfective verbs, so therefore, you'll have to use the imperfective, which is very good because in case you don't know which aspect to use, using the imperfective will always be simpler and more understandable.
Okay.
In English, we tend to use the continuous ongoing aspects way more than the simple ones, which is why English aspects, like progressives and perfects, have more emphasis and thus are used more. In conclusion, it's very simple to remember these definitions because the perfective and imperfective only affect the past and the future. And also, there are more ways to remember them. For instance, the perfective is used for single events in time where the event was or will be fully and successfully completed.
Perfective is when it was or will be fully successful.
Unless
it's in negative. And using negative and perfective means that they fail.
it's in the negative. Using the negative with perfective verbs indicates that the person failed to do the action, and it's a concept for a future video. Instead, using the imperfective in the negative will mean that the action did not happen. Additionally, the imperfective can be used in the present tense because the action is still ongoing by definition, like я работал, я работал.
Also used in the present because the action is still ongoing. So if it's in the present tense, it will always be imperfective. If there's no implied ending, it's also imperfective.
Работаю and я буду.
If there's no result or it wasn't successfully completed, then imperfective.
Работать. In the perfective, it's not possible to put a verb in the present because there is no notion of an action that was or will be completed in the present moment.
I think my thing might crash and what?
Actions that are repeated an unspecified number of times are also imperfective. Expressions, when you specify a length of time, also use the imperfective. Verbs that express the state of something rather than an action also use the imperfective. Expressing something that didn't happen needs.
Nice.
Video. I would like to explain how to conjugate verbs in the past tense are obvious, but the neuter gender is neither male.
I hate it when YouTube does that. And of course this one just doesn't load. Oh, Russian stuff in general.
So in this video, I would like to discuss the things you must know.
Expression.
So in this video, I would like
Nominative. Expression.
to explain what are the 6 Russian cases.
What do you mean expressive?
Or declensions, or what I like to call them, the 6 types of Russian expressions. Now, I'm not going to fully
You just call the conscience expression as that one?
elaborate on these cases in this video because each type of expression requires more explanation and a full understanding of how it works. In the next videos, I'll describe each Russian case on its own. In this video, nonetheless, I'll explain what are the 6 Russian cases or types of expressions and why and how they work in Russian.
I'd like more in-depth
So in
explanation.
this video, I would like to explain the nominative case.
Well, not for that. I don't know much about that.
So in this video, I would like to explain the genitive case in Russian. The genitive case is the second case that can express
Basically, of now.
words differently than the first one. If the nominative didn't modify any words, the genitive case is the first where
Why
nouns will
is
change
it-
according to the expression and the rules of the case. Throughout the video, I will give a descriptive definition of what the genitive
Isn't
does,
nominative case the only one that doesn't get modified?
what is it for, and with examples in the end. The genitive case shows possession, attribution, and absence, indicating the relationship between something
Or from as well.
of or from something else. What I mean by possession is that it identifies an object of a preposition, such as of and from. An object can come after these prepositions, which makes a different expression, being in the genitive and indicating that the possessor always follows the object it possesses. Because it focuses on an object of a preposition, thus showing possession, it ultimately answers the questions of from what.
Okay, so if I said something like a box of food. So by chia, is that the genitive case? No. Okay, I think that was a bad idea. Something like spiders. Food. I don't know. Balka. Okay, so I assume that is genitive of spider. Yes. Baka. Yida baka. And is food of spider. Okay.
Of from whom and sometimes from where. This is what the genitive case is for, identifying the object of a preposition such as of and from. In the translator, the questions of what, whom, and where are shown
He's really
differently
deep out.
because it's a different type of expression.
What is чего? What is кого? Откуда? Of. What is from? That's cool. What?
If we want to know whether a word is in the genitive, we have to ask these questions to see if they fit the context. If they do, the phrase is genitive. In addition to showing possession, that is objects of preposition, the genitive case also has more functions like cardinal numbers,
Cardinal
description,
numbers?
location, and time. At the end of the video, I will present a few examples.
Oh yeah.
to show
Numbers 2 to 4, so vowels is number. Why do you keep messing up nouns and vowels? I mean, yeah.
what
Why
these
am I saying vowels? Nouns.
ideas mean. For now, I'll focus on the grammar of the genitive that you have to apply, mainly with nouns. Just like the nominative, the genitive can work with masculine, feminine, and neuter nouns. But unlike the nominative, there are ways of modifying nouns, both in the singular and plural. To understand how to modify nouns in the genitive,
She said both. I assume that's because nominative is the default, or normal, and you don't modify singular.
we have to know the gender of the noun we're working with.
Yes.
Here's a short recap. If a noun ends in a consonant, i kratkoye, or the mягкий знак, it's masculine. If a noun ends with the vowels a, ya, or mягкий знак,
Actually, I just want to check because now that you bring up mягкий знак. New thing, new question, I guess. Okay. What consonant? That's a combination of pronouns with in Russian. Good. Good. I'll pronounce it. Легкий. Oh no, легко. ГК. is Yuka. Huh? What was the other ones? There was. That's weird. Okay, so. Just talking about simulation. More simulation. More simulation. Oh, and a drop sounds as well. Okay. There's something more. Raznik. 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 Well, it's not like you really pronounce it that much anyway. Raznik. Лестница. Лестница. Солнце. Oh, it is French, just one солнце. Солнце. Что? Конечно. Okay, so it's not standard. How else would you pronounce them? What's those simulation rules? So tell me you want to put a T into a TS. How else are you gonna pronounce? TS? TS? No. Pizza. 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 What? Pizza. I mean, pizza? What? Pizza. Pizza? Oh, I'm gonna have a funny thing.